Good day, everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today, we're embarking on a journey back in time, deep into the heart of Australia, to explore the story of the world's oldest living cultures. We're talking about Aboriginal Australians, whose history is not just a chapter in a book, but a vast epic saga written across the entire continent, stretching back tens of thousands of years. So, grab a cuppa, get comfortable, and let's dive into this incredible story of survival, culture, and resilience. First, let's tackle the big question. Where did the first Australians come from? The most widely accepted theory is that around 65,000 years ago, during a period when sea levels were much lower, people began migrating out of Africa. They journeyed across Asia and eventually reached a landmass known as Sahul, which connected Australia, New Guinea, and Tasmania. These weren't just random wanderers. They were skilled navigators and explorers, crossing significant water gaps to arrive on this new continent. This migration is one of the earliest and most remarkable maritime expansions in human history. Once they arrived, they didn't just survive. They thrived. They spread out across every corner of the vast and often harsh Australian continent, from the scorching central deserts to the lush tropical rainforests of the north and the chilly highlands of Tasmania. They developed unique skills and knowledge to thrive. This wasn't one single group, but a rich tapestry of distinct nations. Before 1788, it's estimated there were over 250 different language groups. And within those, hundreds of different clans or tribes, each with its own territory, traditions, and deep spiritual connection to their specific country. This connection to country is absolutely central to understanding Aboriginal cultures. It's a concept that goes far beyond just owning land. Country is a living entity encompassing the land, water, sky, plants, animals, and the spirits that inhabit it. It's the source of identity, spirituality, and law. Stories, songs, and ceremonies are all tied to specific places in the landscape, passed down through generations in what is often called the dreaming or dream time. The dreaming isn't just about a mythical past. It's an ongoing, ever-present spiritual reality that shapes daily life and moral codes. Think of the incredible innovations that came from this deep understanding of the environment. Aboriginal peoples developed sophisticated systems of land management, using controlled burning or what's now called cultural burning to promote biodiversity and prevent larger, more destructive wildfires. They were expert astronomers using the stars for navigation, timekeeping, and to predict seasonal changes. They created complex kinship systems that governed social relationships and responsibilities, ensuring everyone had a place and purpose within the community. Their art, whether painted on rock walls, bark, or their own bodies, is not just decorative. It's a visual language, a way of recording history, teaching law, and mapping the land and its spiritual significance. From the geometric patterns of the southeast to the X-ray style art of Arnhem Land, each style tells a unique story. For over 60,000 years, these cultures flourished in relative isolation, creating a society that was sustainable, deeply spiritual, and intricately connected to the environment. They witnessed dramatic climate shifts, the extinction of megafauna, and rising sea levels that cut off Tasmania and New Guinea from the mainland. Through it all, they adapted, survived, and passed their knowledge down, creating an unbroken chain of cultural heritage that is simply unparalleled anywhere else on Earth. Then, in 1788, everything changed. The arrival of the British First Fleet in what is now Sydney marked the beginning of a catastrophic disruption. The British declared the land terra nullius, meaning land belonging to no one, completely disregarding the complex societies and land ownership systems that had existed for millennia. This legal fiction was the justification for colonization, and its impact was immediate and devastating. The arrival of Europeans brought diseases to which Aboriginal people had no immunity. Smallpox, influenza, and measles swept through communities, wiping out an estimated 90% of the population in some areas within just a few years of first contact. This was a demographic catastrophe on a massive scale. Alongside disease came violent conflict, as settlers pushed further inland, seeking land for farming and grazing. They clashed with Aboriginal people defending their country. This frontier was a place of immense violence, with massacres and brutal warfare that are often left out of the mainstream historical narrative. Aboriginal warriors fought back bravely, but they were ultimately overwhelmed by superior firepower. Survivors were forced off their ancestral lands and onto missions and reserves run by governments or religious groups. Their freedom of movement was restricted. Their languages were forbidden, and their spiritual practices were suppressed. The goal was assimilation, to erase their culture and force them to adopt a European way of life. One of the most heartbreaking policies was the forced removal of children from their families, a practice that continued well into the 1970s. These children, now known as the stolen generations, were placed in institutions or with white families, causing unimaginable trauma and a profound loss of identity, culture, and family connection that continues to echo through generations today. But this story is not just one of tragedy. It is also a powerful story of resilience and survival. Against all odds, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples have kept their cultures alive. They fought for their rights, for their land, and for their dignity. From the 1920s onwards, Aboriginal activists began to organise, demanding citizenship and equality. People like William Cooper and Jack Patton were pioneers of the Aboriginal rights movement. The 1967 referendum was a landmark moment, where over 90% of Australians voted to finally count Aboriginal people in the census and allow the federal government to make laws for them. It was a symbolic step towards recognition. The fight for land rights gained momentum with the Gurindji strike at Wave Hill Station in 1966 and the establishment of the Aboriginal Tent Embassy in Canberra in 1972, which remains a powerful symbol of the ongoing struggle for sovereignty. A huge legal victory came in 1992 with the Mabo decision. The High Court of Australia finally overturned the lie of terra nullius, recognizing that a form of native title existed before colonisation and could still exist today. This decision fundamentally changed the legal landscape of Australia. Today, the journey towards reconciliation continues. In 2008, Prime Minister Kevin Rudd delivered the national apology to the stolen generations, a significant moment of healing for many. The 2017 Uluru Statement from the Heart is a powerful and poetic call from First Nations peoples for constitutional recognition through a voice to Parliament and a process of agreement-making, or treaty, and truth-telling about Australia's history. This conversation about Australia's past and future is ongoing and vital. Aboriginal cultures are not relics of the past. They are vibrant, dynamic, and evolving. Today, Indigenous artists, musicians, writers, entrepreneurs, and leaders are making incredible contributions in every field imaginable. They are revitalizing ancient languages, managing and caring for country using traditional knowledge, and sharing their stories with the world. By learning about this history, we're not just looking at the past. We are understanding the very foundation of the land we all live on. We are acknowledging a painful truth, but also celebrating the incredible strength and resilience of the human spirit. Supporting First Nations communities, listening to their voices, and educating ourselves about their history and culture is something we can all do. It enriches our understanding of Australia and helps build a more just and respectful future for everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. I hope it's given you a deeper appreciation for the profound history and enduring legacy of Australia's First Peoples. If you found this video insightful, please give it a like and subscribe for more stories from around the world. See you next time.